Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Dylan here. We have an outstanding, amazing update from Donald Trump's top lawyer, Alina Habba. She just dropped a bombshell and she's teaming up with Donald J. Trump. She just came out and spoke at the Republican National Convention talking about the attempted assassination of Donald J. Trump, and she just revealed the truth about everything going on, not only with the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, but how good things are looking now for Donald John Trump. I mean, if you just take a look at the media, even the media, the mainstream media, is now going after and supporting Donald J. Trump. They're talking well about him. They're saying Donald Trump looks great. He looks amazing. They're completely abandoning Joe Biden right now. And guys, we are in for a treat of a video. Donald Trump arrived at the Republican National Convention. He showed up early, I think 3-4 days before he's supposed to even speak. He's there. He's having a great time. His ears all bandaged up. And people are chanting USA, and the crowd is going wild. So before we jump into this update from Alina Habba and Donald Trump, we're gonna read the Bible. We're gonna pray because God comes first. Amen. Comment amen down below if you believe that God comes first. I love reading your guys' comments. You guys inspire me, and I love seeing you guys here on my show. So thank you for supporting my show. All right, this is Psalm 96. Sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord, all the earth. Sing to the Lord, bless his name. Proclaim his salvation day after day. Declare his glory among the nations, his wonderful deeds among all peoples. For great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the nations are idols, but it is the Lord who made the heavens. Splendor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty fill his sanctuary. Ascribe to the Lord, O families of the nations. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name. Bring an offering and enter his courts. Worship the Lord in the splendor of his holiness. Tremble before him, all the earth. Declare among the nations, the Lord reigns. The world is firmly established. It cannot be moved. He will judge the peoples with equity. Let the heavens be glad and the earth rejoice. Let the sea resound and all that fills it. Let the fields exult and all that is in them. Then all the trees of the forest will sing for joy before the Lord, for he is coming. He is coming to judge the earth. He will judge the world in righteousness and the peoples in his faithfulness. Amen. Comment amen down below if you believe that the Lord is good. Let's all sing to the Lord a new song today. Amen, guys? All right. Let's jump into this update from Alina Habba and Donald John Trump, guys. These are awesome, incredible people that we need to be praying for. Okay, so first and foremost, this is Donald J. Trump arriving at the RNC right after the assassination attempt.
Please welcome the next president of the United States.
Look how amazing this is, my friends. Donald J. Trump walking out. This man is a hero. This man has tenacity. This man has perseverance. You can see in his eyes. He almost just looks happy and thankful and loving. I mean, he always looks loving when he walks out, but something's different. God blessed this man and kept him alive. If you watched any of the videos where Donald Trump literally got shot, he turned his head at the precise exact moment where that if he wouldn't have turned his head, Trump Jr., tear in his eyes, thankful that the Lord saved his father that day. If Trump wouldn't have moved his head, it would have pierced his skull most likely, and we would have witnessed a much more tragic day. But Donald J. Trump, he's ferocious. He's blessed, and the people love him. Thousands upon thousands of people there millions and millions of people watching all around the world. We have people, even on my show, watching from all around the world supporting Trump. Not only in America, guys. Many other nations wish that they had a president like Trump. So we are blessed that we live in America. Look at, there's Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, love that smile. Byron Donalds. Kimberly Guilfoyle, Donald Trump Jr. Eric Trump, look at Trump Jr. He looks so, so heartfelt. It's just, thank you, Dad, for being here. You have J.D. Vance, Trump's running mate. Mike Johnson, Kelly Johnson. I love how Trump looks at Kelly Johnson too, like, hey, thank you. Because keep in mind, Melania Trump and Donald Trump are a Christian faith-filled couple, but Mike Johnson and Kelly Johnson are also a Christian faith-filled couple too. So I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of went on double dates together. At least I like to imagine that they're just a close two couples right there that both believe in God, both love our country, both want to help fix our country. And they're both leaders in our nation as well. I've already talked about that on my show. That God is raising up those in authority. And my friends, this Republican National Convention happening right after the attempted assassination on Trump could not have come at a better time. There is so... Look at Trump. If Trump didn't gain your respect this past week, I don't think anything will. This man, I was just telling my mom, 24 hours after he got shot, he was on a plane to Wisconsin. The next morning, he was already up playing golf. I would have been in bed. Trump said, you know what? I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna show up. Because he didn't have to, guys. We would have understood, Trump, if you said, yeah, I'm gonna sit this one out. I just got shot. No! Trump is for the people. He's selfless. This is an amazing, amazing day. Look at those patriots. Tucker, Byron, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Mike Johnson, Trump Jr., Eric Trump. Wow, I thought I even saw Laura Trump there as well. The whole family there, I love how amazing this family is, that they really do come after, and you can tell in their eyes that they all believe that God performed a miracle that day, saving Donald Trump's life. Look at J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance and Trump, guys. This is our new team. This is our new team, my friends. How beautiful. This is what we are looking forward to. The November election is just right around the corner. Look at this. They're all chanting USA. I love seeing Trump join in on the chant. That made me happy. Look at his ear. Dude just got shot, and now he's showing up. For the people. A man for we the people.
Sean Hannity here.
Wow, how beautiful is that? Look at Donald Trump.
That fist that we saw, of course, on Saturday. Just
after Trump got shot, he stood up and said, fight!
Where there is now that bandage.
Wow.
His iconic move anyway, that fist, but he carried it through even as an assassin tried to take his life, and now tonight. But he does.
And they all start chanting, fight, fight, fight.
More subdued.
Because that's what Trump did after he got shot. He did not give up.
He seems genuinely moved
Watch.
by the reception inside this hall. Fight, fight.
Look at Trump Jr. in the back. I love how the family is all into it.
After that now iconic moment.
Look at Tucker.
No matter how you look at it, when he got back up with the help of the Secret Service, and the instincts kicked in that moment to hold his fist in the air. The blood.
They're all chanting, we love Trump.
And those three words, fight, fight, fight. We've heard it in speeches earlier here this evening. The crowd reacting to it.
Wow.
Every time, and now with Donald Trump standing before them.
He says, thank you. You can just see in his eyes. He goes, it looks like he's almost about to cry, like he's holding back tears. I mean, what must be going through his head? They tried to kill him, but he's alive.
Scott, who's on the floor and who is covered.
Look at that. And they said that this iconic moment will go down in history. I heard comparing this moment of Trump standing up after he got shot. People are comparing that to Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. People are saying this could be engraved on Mount Rushmore. People are saying that Trump standing up, guys, after he got shot, was worth $1 billion for his campaign. Trump could have spent $1 billion running ads to support Trump for 2024, and that wouldn't have been as effective as Trump standing up like that. Trump is a smart man, and obviously, it was totally unplanned, spur of the moment, but Trump, I don't think Trump cared that there were photographers around. I don't think he thought any photographers would, actually be out there taking photos. But that's just Trump's natural thing to do, to persevere. So let's tune in to Alina Habba. She just came out and spoke at the Republican National Convention. So I want to turn it over to Alina Habba. Let's bring her in. Here we go.
I do have Alina Habba with me here. And Alina, you and I were just speaking. First of all, you came in with the President of the United States, President, says just last night to Milwaukee. What has it been like for him knowing that he was so close to being gravely injured on Saturday?
I mean, clearly if they could have, this shooter wanted to kill him and assassinate a former president and the candidate for the Republican Party. For me, I can tell you that it was emotional. I was nervous to see him. I kept thinking I didn't know what to say. There are no words. He is a friend of mine. And at the end of the day, when you see someone almost get killed, but you know them, I mean, this is a very strange place in the world to be right now. I think for all sides of politics, we don't want that for anybody. That's just against the grain. So,
and by the way, you'll notice CNN is actually being very kind and loving to Donald Trump. ABC News too. The only channel that I was still seeing being mean to them is MSNBC. So people are now turning to support Trump, guys. This is extremely good for Trump 2024, and we are starting, I think all the pieces of the puzzle are coming together, and dare I say that the world, our country, needed kind of this aha moment that, hey, Trump is the answer. I think people are getting convinced now.
Can we express to you how he's feeling? I mean, there must be such a feeling of, one, mortality, but also the political climate we're in.
Yeah, I think that he had a speech ready, and that speech maybe would have been quintessential President Trump speech addressing the nation about issues and disagreements that he has. I'm not saying that probably won't be there to some extent, but I think anybody who almost gets killed has a different perspective on life. And I know for the team, we all feel emotional, and we're really behind Melania's sentiments, which are to unite this country. Despite political differences, we need to unite this country because there is no place for what happened. And I think we all saw that. And the plane ride here was different than most. It was, when I saw the team, and these are my friends that I've worked with for years now, I became emotional. I am a very sensitive person. I don't usually show that side. Obviously, I'm outside the courtroom screaming. But when you almost lose a friend, a former president, but a friend, to me, it's emotional.
There's been so many things happening in the last several hours, including a decision that you and I, as lawyers, know that is very important in cases. To have a judge dismiss a case is something that does not happen every day. No. To dismiss it on the appointments clause grounds, to talk about the idea of the appointment of Jack Smith.
Yeah, the classified documents case was just dismissed. We have breaking news, guys. Whoa, I didn't even realize that because there's so much been going on in the news. I've been missing stuff. That's outstanding. And I love how Alina Habba talked about Melania Trump too, because if you read Melania Trump's statement about her husband almost dying, now that made me shed a tear.
This is stunning for a lot of people that it indeed happened, even though it was requested. What's your reaction to the decision by Judge Eileen Cannon in that sense?
Well, I think Judge Cannon, as you said, it is a big decision. The appointments clause is critical. I think that the Constitution and all of that needs to really be seriously considered. These cases, I do believe, were brought for the wrong reasons. They were politically charged. I think Jack Smith in particular made tremendous amount of mistakes. The way he handled evidence, But even going back to it, the appointments clause, the fact that he was there, he was not voted in, he was not confirmed, it's just not the way we're supposed to operate as Americans. And I say that both for if I was on the other side and I was bringing a case against President Biden. We have to follow the rules and the Constitution.
Sorry to cut you off, Alina. I do wonder, though, because the alternative many people are hearing, and there are many laymen out there who have become armchair lawyers because of necessity of the world we're in. Right. But one of the core principles people talk about is the idea of the accusations of it having been a politicized system up to date. The idea that it wouldn't be somebody who had an independent authority, but likely somebody under the purview of an attorney general, a political appointee himself.
Look at the way Alina Habba is looking at this reporter. There's so much going on in her head. She's analyzing this reporter, her body language, the way she's speaking, her tonalities. Alina Habba is an incredibly smart woman that I think is very underrated. She is a woman, my friends, who is quite literally one of the biggest pieces of this puzzle for Donald Trump, because she's the only lawyer that Trump has, who's incredibly talented, by the way, but she's the only lawyer who time and time again speaks to the media, gets the truth out there, is informing the public about Donald Trump. Without Alina Habba, Donald Trump would be dealing with all these legal issues and having to speak to the public on his own. He's trying to deal with his own campaign. So it's like Alina Habba's handling all the legal stuff, telling the public, the media about all the legal stuff, while Trump can actually spend some time on his campaign. Without Alina Habba, I honestly don't think Trump would have that much extra time to spend on his campaign. So Alina Habba, you need to say a prayer for her too, guys.
Isn't there a really big risk of people leveling the same accusations, but now tenfold, if you do not have an independent body who had that role?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, because look, at the end of the day, if we go back and when we go back to Washington, I don't want that criticism for their team, right? So here's what I say, though. I think you have to look at the facts of these cases specifically. When we bring in DAs and we bring in people from the DOJ onto DAs, for instance, like the hush money case, and you put them into New York and you have them sit from the DOJ on the prosecution case in New York State, that's a problem for Americans.
Well, when you say have them sit, I want to be clear, there is an accusation that that happened, but the idea of what they have come back and said did not happen is what they think is the reality. Focusing on Florida, though, the idea that there is no longer a case there, and there is the idea of not a special counsel, does that concern you that there won't be that independent body if the alternative were to have somebody from the DOJ under the purview of Merrick Garland?
It has to be independent. You have to follow the appointments clause. They have to be selected. And on the hush money thing, Michael Colangelo, that's not an accusation. It's a fact. I was in court. He was sitting there, and he was on the DOJ, and he had no business sitting in state court with President Trump. He was put in there to make sure that case went as planned under Merrick Garland. The truth is, if and when we
preach, Alina, preach.
We are going to have to be transparent with America. We are going to have to make sure that people are appointed special counsel the correct way, and that we do so with the American people. I agree with you. The American people need to trust our system, no matter who's on that side. And they have to trust that we believe in the Constitution. We're going to uphold it. And I think at the end of the day, you can criticize Judge Cannon, and a lot of people do, but she's looking at the Constitution much like the Supreme Court did in the Fisher case, and much like the Supreme Court just did in the immunity case. They're looking at rights of the executive branch, and that applies to everyone. And that's what I always say. I'm not just President Trump's attorney. I really believe in the Constitution in America, and we have to uphold that.
I certainly hear you.
Love that, my friends. Now, I want to take a brief moment to show you guys, before we jump into our next interview, something that I found that Alina Habba shared. So this is actually on Alina Habba's Instagram. She shared this. She said, when your best friend sneaks this into your bag for Milwaukee. So this is completely divine and blessed. Alina Habba, she went on the Trump's plane to go to the RNC, the Republican National Convention. Her best friend snuck this into her bag. It is a picture of Jesus and a card from Mother Teresa that says, be true carriers of God's love in the world. So Alina Habba very much recognizes our Lord. So maybe that's why Alina Habba seems so blessed, because she really does truly recognize our Lord. This is a video that she shared saying, my golf game is about as smooth as Joe Biden walking up a staircase. Watch this, guys. Alina Habba is epic.
It's broken.
I love Alina. She's epic. She's amazing. What a powerhouse of a woman. They are living such an amazing life. I don't know if you guys have seen these videos of Alina Habba, but she is completely epic. Look at this.
Newark Airport. Good morning from Newark Airport.
She said, good morning to all those suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. How epic is that, my friends? So cool. Alina Habba just celebrated, by the way, her 40th birthday, so happy birthday to Alina Habba. She actually had a beautiful celebration at Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump and Melania Trump and Laura Trump, Kimberly Guilfoyle. She was so ecstatic, happy to be. Everybody had an amazing time. Even Trump Jr. and Eric Trump were there celebrating Alina Habba. So happy birthday, Alina. Comment that down below. Look at how amazing these women are. They're holding her up and she is ecstatic. This is what true beauty looks like. Alina Habba and her friends celebrating her 40th birthday. Happy birthday, Alina. Now, I wanted to bring on this interview from Donald Trump Jr. He interviewed Alina Habba, so this is really outstanding interview. I haven't even watched the full thing yet, so I'm gonna watch it with you guys right now. Let's tune in to Donald Trump Jr. and Alina Habba.
Legal extraordinaire. Where do you want? Well, yeah, it depends on, depends on the day. Yeah,
This is so cool, guys. This is so cool.
The work of Mike.
Work of Mike.
So what's hot? We actually haven't spoken.
No. I have to say, I did
Do we
like
speak?
5 shows today, and I'm very excited to do this one. And by the way, I just looked on you are #1 right now in the nation on streaming for podcasts. I just want
Well,
you
listen,
to
it's a lot's happened in the last 48 hours.
a lot has happened.
Thank God it worked out a little bit better. But listen, Alina, you've been there. You've been in there as a lawyer for us. You've been out there as a spokesperson for us. Sort of the combination of the grit behind the technical aspects of law, but then also trying to message that to the public. You've been the recipient of the hostilities. What do you see?
I think it's a very sad world. I think we're in a very big crisis. I think, unfortunately, I believe in God. So for me, this was a blessing in disguise, what happened. I think the fact that your mom passed on that day and the day after, I think that is
your anniversary.
And people don't realize it. And I'm a really big believer that there is a plan. So I think that everything comes with a price. And thank God your father's life was not one of those things. He is a dear friend of mine, as you know, as you all are. And it was really unfortunate, but I think we kind
most of the time I kind of like him too. I mean, not always.
Sometimes, yeah.
Not always. I mean, there are times where I'm like, listen.
Sometimes. No, look, he is spectacular and he's tough, but he's amazing. And there is nobody, not me, not you, and you have your whole shooting and your fishing, but there is nobody that would get shot in the ear, get up, and your instinct is to tell the Secret Service, hold on, and raise your fist and go, fight.
Yeah.
But
That is so true, guys. Nobody could tell Trump what to do. Not even the Secret Service.
that's his core. I mean, in those moments, I think that's his core. So what do I think? I think we've had a hell of a ride for the last 3 years I've been with you guys, and it's been something else. I couldn't have imagined it, but I couldn't be more grateful. It's really been tremendous.
No, he's built different. That conversation, I guess we'll get to it here, because it's the conversation I had with him the first time I was able to kind of speak to him afterwards. It took 90 minutes, so I don't know. I mean, Kim called me and was like, your dad's been shot. I'm like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
like actually shot? Like, and then, you start reading and you're reading speculation and this. I don't know for 90 minutes. I can't get a hold of anyone on the detail. I guess just full lockdown.
Yeah, apparently it was really sad for Trump. Right after he got shot, none of his family were with him. He was getting medical help. He didn't have access to his phone for some reason. None of his family members really knew if he was okay. We were all just getting updates online. I mean, how sad would it be for Donald Trump Jr., Melania Trump? Those 90 minutes are probably the longest 90 minutes of their life.
I was with my daughter and some of her friends, and just that unknown. And strangely enough, I was actually calm during that. It was after I spoke to him, like, oh, he's okay. But then you start reading it, you see the video and the adrenaline dump. It was just like, I was up till like 4 o'clock in the morning. I was just, mind blown.
Wow.
It was crazy. But in the conversation I had with him afterwards, literally the first thing I said to him was like, "You're the biggest badass I know." And he's laughing about that. He goes, "So, are you upset that I'm the first person to get shot at?" I'm like, are you I'm like, hey, just because I love shooting doesn't mean I want to get shot. Like, it's not the same, Dad. It's not the same.
Whoa! So, did you guys notice that? Donald Trump kind of referenced that Donald Trump Jr. could be a future president. Oh, we'll see, guys.
I mean, we're literally like, and it was funny, and I think he, it was a very somber moment as well. We're joking about, but I think it was like a little bit of like, that's how we, like, we're ball breakers, right? Like, it was a little bit of that.
As you know.
Yes, exactly. I mean, it was a little bit of that stress relief, right? He's doing that. I'm like, so listen, you're just gonna let the ear stay that way? It's like you could be in good company with like Evander Holyfield, like a good friend of ours, and like, I mean, you could just leave. And it was interesting. I think with all the people that are around him and staff, and like. It was that moment of levity. I think it was me, Eric, Laura, Kim on the phone, my daughter Kai right there, my ex-wife Vanessa. It was like Modern Family, crazy, together on speakerphone, and man, it was
You were the first person I spoke to.
I think so, right?
Yeah, I was trying to reach him, and I was panicked, and obviously I was trying to reach Secret. I didn't know what to do.
Listen, Habba's pretty tough on TV. She's pretty tough in the courtroom. There was a little emotion. It's okay.
I will tell you the truth. I haven't told anybody this. This is true story just for Don Jr.'s Triggered Show. I actually, the first time I saw him, and it's funny because my bravado, my courtroom, outside the courtroom screaming that these are witch hunts, which I truly believe and say, as you know, as your family knows, I am a softie. And at the end of the day, I was so stressed out to see him because I knew that as tough as I can be, that was going to be a tough moment. And I kept it together on the plane. I flew with him here. And I got up and turned around and saw him. And he looked up and I caught his eye and he was speaking and there was a ton of people around him. And I just started bawling.
Oh.
And I said, damn it. I was so angry. I was like, that's not who I'm supposed to be. But the truth is, your father said, come here. And he shook my hand. He said, we're going to be okay.
Wow. I got chills. Trump is an amazing man, and Alina Habba is too.
And that's your dad. He understands his biggest fighters, his biggest voices were human beings. And I think the American people really needed to hear that and see that. I think that they think we're all these cult-loving, somehow twisted people that don't see straight. I am a mom. And this is my friend, and it's your father. And at the end of the day, client, president, all those other things, he's a human being. And I think that when people hear the stories that you were the first person I spoke to in the family within.
How amazing is that, by the way, that these people work together? Alina Habba works for Trump, yet they have such a loving relationship. They're literally crying together. Trump is there comforting this woman. What a beautiful relationship that this whole family has. They all, at the end of the day, they all love God, they love Jesus, and they love each other, and they love this country. This is, I think, what people are waking up to realizing.
Minutes and just panic.
I didn't have anything to offer.
You didn't have, but I said thank you for answering me. I mean, you're just panicked, and none of us knew what was going on, what to do. We're watching it. I'm trying to analyze pictures, whether the bullet, just grazed his ear. Did it go in? And the people on TV are panicking, the nation, saying, it could have gone in and
that was the harder part, right? It was the speculation.
Hard.
It's like, you see someone say he was assassinated. You see someone saying it was a miss. You see someone who was strapped. Then you see the media trying to minimize it. Well, it was a piece of ricochet off the. I'm like, they shot at the president. A sniper was able to get into. Luckily this guy can't shoot, but he was able to get within 150 yards. Then the conspiracies start going. I don't want to be the guy pushing that, but I'd also
Don, the most aggravating.
But it is almost impossible to believe, given what I've seen. I mean, we were at Doral. Last week, and you'd see snipers on the rooftop from miles away. I'm like, a guy got on a rooftop,
how?
While people are they got the BBC interview of the guy being like, No, we were talking for 5 minutes, and then he's starting to see like the cell phone cameras. There's a guy on a roof with a gun. There's a guy. It's like
him.
5 minutes.
What happened? What happened?
Again, I'm not going to be the guy to lead the charge in these things, but man, as a son, as someone who's
Donald Trump Jr. as Trump's son, seeing his own dad being like, there's a sniper 150 yards from Trump with a clear view of the stage. If I was Trump Jr., I would be so mad.
Fucking pissed off that it could ever get there.
Wait, are we allowed to curse on here?
You can say whatever the fuck
I
you
love
want.
that.
I
love that for us.
Generally, I try to keep it a little kid friendly. I figure I get a little leeway this week.
It's okay, especially with.
Hey, Trump Jr., we'll forgive you if you say a cuss word. Okay, I think you earned it. I know. Even people on my show get mad at me for saying "holy moly." I'm trying to be better at that. But hey, sometimes you just can't hold in your language.
With Haba, have at it.
Yeah, no, I basically, that was my what the fuck moment. What the fuck?
Whoa!
It was hard for me because I'm friends, obviously, and I'm friends with the Secret Service, the detail, and so are you, that take care of him. And
there's like, you see Sean, the guy in the sunglasses right there. Like, Sean's a badass.
They're awesome.
He's a patriot.
So I
he's a great guy. Like,
very clear.
You see, like,
Kate, who
pictures of the sunglasses.
I can't believe Alina Haba just said that. Oh!
Literally, like, something hit his glasses, like, in the ricochet off of it. Like, they're broken.
Yeah.
You can see that. And, that guy.
And I want to be clear about
that. That guy's
the
greatest. But listen, the way it works with these details is you have the guys that are the guys, and then there's other people that they supplement in, and there's people that you've maybe never even seen, and, again. But, like, the people that are with him on a day-to-day basis are...
No, they're amazing.
They're nothing but great.
And I feel badly because I saw after that, and the picture of the females in the front, and Kate, who we know, obviously, and she was down there, and she had the blonde bun, for those listening that don't know who they are, but these are people we're with every day, and they're great people.
She was in the stairs
and
going up to his office on Friday when I went to go work on his speech with him. Like, I was in his office, we're talking about the vice presidential peg, they were talking about, the speech and going through it. I mean, she was literally standing in the stairwell the day before. I didn't even know her before that, but like, it was like, oh, wow, that's the woman that was... Right. So they got very real. That was the blonde.
Yeah, that definitely got real. But I didn't like how the media, I will say, they did a Habba on them, and the females in particular. And I've seen it before, and I remember my first hit piece, I was just traumatized, and I was like, these people don't deserve it. Now, do I think that something went wrong? Yes, I do. Yeah. I don't see how this could have happened. However, our team, the team that's with us all the time, the DTD team, I'm so proud of them, and they did everything right there, and they're the best, and they really love everybody. They protect all of us. They don't need to protect us, but they protect all of us. But
now I will say there was a difference between the blonde that you're talking about, who was there. I mean, she's
the chick who couldn't put the gun,
and the woman who can't holster her and is seen cowering at the gunshots. Like Sean,
what was that?
I'm looking at Sean Curran, who's like jumping on my dad and looks like a badass, like getting him down. And this person's like, "What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?" Like,
I think I would have been better with it. I mean, my gun lessons are not.
I don't know if this is DEI programming. It seems like the head of the Secret Service seems like one of these woke, came from Pepsi. I'm sure she's
what was
very...
that? Yeah.
Who the hell knows? And again, I'm not going to be that guy. There'll be plenty of other people that are doing it, but man, you see some of that video.
That was
concerning. You see the timing. You see the people screaming, and and again, they're coordinating with a lot of guys. So just because a guy like a Sean, who's a just badass patriot, that doesn't mean he may even know some of the other people that are involved in other things. They may not even be in comms with the sniper units or whatever it may be, but I think there does have to be sort of a reckoning there. There has to be hearings, and I don't want it. The hearing can't be by the FBI, the same FBI that would put any one of those people in the gulags that were in attendance.
No, the story
the
will
FBI
be
that if you bought a Bible, they want your information, or they think you're the greatest threat to democracy. It can't be by the FBI. I think Lance Gooden, Congressman Lance Gooden, great guy. He put out a thing to do a proper committee investigation into this that isn't going to be
let's do a proper one.
By a hyper politicized, hyper partisan group like the FBI. I don't know, guys. We respond to the crap that they've put out there, whether they called us traitors, whether they called us Hitler, whether they called us Stalin, whether they dehumanized us for 8 years. I did 50 hours of testimony for treason, a crime punishable by death, but Hunter Biden is left alone because he's a child. He's 50.
He's a
like
child.
6 years older than me, but he's a child. Whatever he is, 52.
ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
And that sort of hyper-partisan crap has to stop. Because I think if you let it go to the FBI, even if they come to the right answer, the vast majority of Americans wouldn't even believe it.
Well,
they
that's
wouldn't believe
actually
whatever they cut, even if they get to the right. And maybe this guy magically has no social media record. He's never spoken to anyone before, never expressed a feeling before. He donated to the NC, but he registered as a Republican, and so they can say he's a Republican. Like, I don't know, guys.
Yeah.
I've been in this game now for 8-9 years. I've seen everything they can possibly throw at me. I don't believe in that level of coincidence or convenience anymore. It doesn't work that way.
No, but as you know, if you look at the reactions, I think it's so disturbing. It tells you how screwed up our country is right now. The fact that people are literally saying you had one shot. And you should have learned.
Public,
I mean, what a disgrace! Shame on you.
Big account. But if it was us doing it, those people would be flagged and blacklisted by the FBI. They'd be getting an invite. They'd be getting a door knock from Secret Service, FBI, someone in that. And for them, it's like, but no, he's the greatest threat to democracy ever, according to some lunatic who doesn't understand. Their counter to the threat for the democracy, and you've been a part of these cases. Is we'll try to sue him into oblivion. We'll try to bankrupt him.
Yep.
We'll try to take away his businesses. If that doesn't work...
Oh, and take away the women vote. Don't forget that
we'll take away the women vote with
Yeah.
accusations. They have to change the statute of limitations for someone who was a huge fan of The Apprentice. They magically said 30 years ago he did something. Totally believable
Who's
stuff.
made me?
Yeah.
Literally, he has made me who I am today. This man that they want to make anti-female, anti-everything. I am a Middle Eastern woman, and I'm going to speak about this on Thursday, but I'm a Middle Eastern woman. And he gave me a platform. And this narrative that they want from him, he's a fraudster. He is a criminal. He is, more than Al Capone. What are we doing as a country?
Just so we're clear, guys, my father has more charges by about 30 and change
33
than Al Capone did.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear. Al
and
Capone,
that's just New York. Wait, let's not forget the 90.
That's before you get to the other. Well, by the way, talk about that. You saw Judge Cannon today throw out the documents case, right? This is the one where my father took his documents that he's totally able to declassify, brought them to Mar-a-Lago, had them locked up in a safe room under guard of the United States Secret Service. The FBI breaks in, takes pictures, puts them on the front page of the Washington Post, so they were either full of it and moved them around, changed it, probably inserted other stuff in there. That was finally. Can you get into the details of that? Because honestly, between JD and the news,
there is some really good news.
It's been a crazy news.
We've had good news. We've had good news.
Can't stop winning.
No, we honestly can't. And I told the American people every time I'm on TV, be patient. What happened today was epic. So we had a case, which let's not forget. Biden had documents. Biden had documents in a home with his son, who is a known drug addict.
With known connections to China and all sorts of funds
right, and the
money
big man and all that. And these were in a garage. He had access to them. They peacefully and patriotically, sorry to use your dad's words, walk on into Biden's home, take the documents, and then President Trump, who frankly did the same thing. This is the false left radical narrative. He did the same thing. I was part of the team.
Well,
he cooperated.
Different. He was the president. He actually had the ability to declassify these
but
things.
more importantly, he was cooperating as well. NARA, which is effectively the Washington librarian, contacts him. They cooperate. They say, come on in. They want another lock. He puts another lock. Boom, raid. Here is the beginning of the demise of our legal system. And what happened today was important. It's something we've been saying. There is something in this country called a constitution. There is something called the Appointments Clause. And this guy, Jack Smith, has had no business. No business. It's no different than your dad appointing you and just saying, hey, Don, go after Hillary Clinton because I said so. He had no business. He was not voted. He was not confirmed by anyone that he should have been. He was sent out as a henchman for Merrick Garland. And today we had a great decision in Florida with Judge Cannon, and she did throw out the case for the president, for Walt Nauta also, and said this
another
is
great
another great
guy
American.
That they tried to just destroy a veteran.
The best American in the world that I know, outside of your father, outside of some of us, that really, he is a fighter, but he's a quiet fighter. And that's the point. They are attacking everyone. And
they go
failing.
after a guy like Walt because he may not have the platform. He may not have the desire to go on TV. Yeah, you 100%. But that's the point. They try to, anyone who may not have that willpower to fight, well, if we go after them, we can break them.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll break the law. It doesn't matter, but we'll eventually break them. I dealt with it myself. Like, just because something's bullshit doesn't mean you don't still have to deal with the bullshit.
No, it's terrible.
Russia was a lie, but it cost me millions of dollars in legal fees. It cost me 2 years of my life, hours of testimony. By the way, had I made one error in 50 hours of testimony, I put one,
perjury.
To me, I think it was like 1202. Nope, it was 1203.
Yeah, perjury.
They got you for perjury.
Yeah, obstruction.
It was always a perjury trap. It was always an obstruction trap.
Always.
So
when I
that's what
started,
they
Don, this is a whole narrative as well with his attorneys, and you know it, but they try and deter you actually from representing President Trump. They try and scare you. I would get phone calls. I got phone calls from well-known left-wing media saying, "Are you aware of what you're doing to your law license?" And I said to them, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
If I was ever concerned for 1 second about representing the Trump organization, you have now just confirmed my decision, because this is what is wrong with our country. You are scaring people to death.
Well, look what they did to Peter Navaro.
Yeah.
To Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
Right? Navaro, I mean, he's getting out tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll be here,
He'll be here. He's going to speak. He's got a great book coming out talking about these things, but he's not even talking about his persecution. It's the path forward. That's how much of a patriot it is. He gets thrown in jail for 4 months. He's still under appeal. It hasn't even actually been decided. He could have all of it thrown out, but guess what? They got him for 4 months.
Yeah.
Took him off the playing board.
Embarrassed him.
Same with Steve Bannon. And that's what they've tried to do. So the party that preaches all this democracy and all this nonsense, they don't actually mean it.
No.
They'll throw you in jail if you disagree with them.
Well, they actually, they speak to exactly what they are. So they try and say he's going to be a dictator. Well, what is this then? What in the world is the Biden administration?
Nothing screams democracy like trying to lock up the chosen candidate of half the population of the country.
Right, and anybody around him, and appoint somebody who has no right to be appointed and put him in charge of witch hunt after witch hunt. January 6th, I think, is the next one to go down. I frankly think every case against him should be dismissed. And the cases that we have that we have lost, that are now on appeal, frankly, are now in jeopardy for the left because of the decision from the Supreme Court with immunity.
Talk about that, because the immunity, how does it play into some of those other cases?
Every case. So effectively what the Supreme Court said was the President of the United States, not the Republican president, not President Trump, presidents of the United States, the entire executive branch, hold an important office. That office is to be preserved. You cannot act in fear of coming out and being civilly or criminally sued for making decisions for America. And that has been the rule. Nixon v. Fitzgerald, it has been the rule. It has been the law that we follow since Nixon, and there's a lot of this, and I've argued it. And the Supreme Court's decision now affects everything, because in these cases, hush money, for instance, they called witnesses that were in the Oval Office, that testified about things in the Oval Office that has nothing to do with this case. This was a case past the statute of limitations. I can go on and on and on. Cy Vance didn't want it. Brad didn't want it.
The Stormy Daniels thing, she had nothing to do with the case.
Joke.
She was just there to try to embarrass their political opposition. Try to turn women away from someone who'd actually, I don't know, create safer streets, end the wars that their kids are going to go die in, create an economy that their kids themselves will flourish in, but, minor details.
Right, minor details. And the real man, I know, empowers women, case in chief. But listen, at the end of the day, all those cases now, we have to look back and say, well, immunity applies. They preserved that right. Immunity applies as long as you're within your official acts. President Trump working out of the Oval Office.
No, they discard those.
No, they don't like to talk about it. They also discard the testimony about the assets from the FBI that were placed, in Washington. I mean, we don't talk about real facts, or the fact that Nancy Pelosi on video recently admitted that she failed by not calling security. We don't talk about that. But what's happened is, honestly, I will say, and I'm a big critic of the judicial system most days, but I think the Supreme Court has made some very valuable decisions. I think that there is a turn coming. And I do believe that this decision today, throwing out this case because of an completely improper appointment of some random guy who is a henchman for Biden, is a good start for our country. Unfortunately, we had to go through hell to get here, but we're here.
Well, we appreciate what you're doing. I won't even comment on your feet because I don't want the
God
leftists.
forbid. You have a foot
I was
fetish?
talking shit of Instagram. It's not it.
Did you see that article? That article came out.
An article about
2 seconds.
I literally, she's bleeding. I'm like, I commented and be like, hey, it's going big on the, whatever. I was like, I said allegedly because this is not a place I spend any time. But I thought it was pretty funny. I got a lot of positive comments on it for people who actually have a sense of humor, unlike the rest of the left.
I don't think, Don, I don't think people realize we are all actually friends. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they think that, and not all of us, but we are friends and we spend a tremendous amount of time. Unfortunately, thanks for these witch hunts, we've all become friends.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. But yes, I got hurt and you made a funny comment. And by the way, my DMs have been blowing up. I think I might, you know.
Okay, how many people are requesting feet pics?
So crazy. People love toes. Evidently, white polish is a thing. I didn't know this, but I'm learning a tremendous amount about people with foot
It's actually
fetishes.
legitimately not my thing. There's plenty of other
Not my thing.
things on women that I
It's
enjoy,
funny,
but
so-
like I won't, I'm not going to get into the
Hey,
details
look,
of that right
if
now.
the legal thing doesn't work
Yeah,
out,
if the legal
I have
thing
a
doesn't work,
future.
hey, you can do like an OnlyFans for feet.
OnlyFans for
OnlyFans.
feet,
How about OnlyFans?
I mean, you won't be the first one that said that to me. Let's be honest.
I'm going to say probably not. Someone else will write this one up too. But
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Habba and Don inappropriately joking about feet, toes,
yeah,
and
no,
OnlyFans.
it gets me into so much trouble.
Oh, whatever.
But,
We're always in trouble.
I'm a Trump. My mouth gets me into trouble a lot, so
Yeah,
it's
well,
okay.
it is
But-
what it is.
Well, guys, thank you so much.
Alina Haba is such a powerhouse. So I'll be covering more of the RNC this week, so make sure to subscribe, but say an extra prayer for Alina. This is a powerhouse of a woman. I think she's amazing. Thanks for watching, my friends. Take care, and God bless.